I had to do this video real quick because the one thing I can't stand is how everybody always speak. Excuse me, y'all. I'm getting over a cold, so anyway, that when one woman speak for every woman, I can't stand that. But
they hate the person.
Go ahead and play that.
Most women want to be married, but they don't want to be a wife. Most women want to walk down the aisle and wear the pretty dress and say I have a husband and have the ring and start the family, but they hate that role. They hate it, and they hate the person.
Now, I hate when there's one woman who tried to be the spokesperson for all women. First and foremost, you don't know a quarter of all women for you to even make such a bold statement. You don't know what every woman thinking. You have no idea. I hate when people do that. Say something. Why y'all miss the one thing I can't stand and I hate is when people just say woman, or people just say women, or people just say men. First of all, say some. Say some. S-O-M-E. Some women like that. Okay? There's some women do not mind being wives. Do not mind cooking and cleaning and doing the role of a wife. Or whatever, however that pertains to the man and how the man sees a wife, if that sees a wife to be, right? Excuse me again. So I can't take when y'all sit when there's people who put group everybody together as if they know every woman in the world or every man in the world. You don't know a quarter of any of these people for you to speak on such a thing broadly and confidently, not knowing half of the women that is like that. You get what I mean? Yes, are there some women? That's the key word there. Some women just want the ring. Now, you got to understand that being a wife, just like being a husband, is not easy, right? I seen a picture that said choose your heart. It was like being married is hard, but so is being single, right? Then it was like it just gave different, like being broke is hard, but so is being rich. Like it gave those like little descriptions or whatever. And so I want people to understand being a wife is not easy. Just like being not a wife is not easy. You're talking about submission, and not everybody understand, both male and female, what submission even means. So a lot of time, and I did a video on this a while back, a lot of times when you are speaking of being a wife or being a husband and you're talking about submission, a lot of common misconceptions with the word submission is that submission means that a man can run over you. He can do whatever he wants, and you're bound by the law of marriage to not, as a woman, cheat back, right? Or do back, or even sometimes to get a divorce. Excuse me. So a lot of times, oftentimes when you're dealing with marriage under a misconception is when one can have these ideas. Now, I'm not saying that again, the key word is some women think like that, but some of us women don't mind being a wife. Some of us women don't mind being a wife, don't mind being submissive. You do not know every woman to even make such bold statements, and I hate when women and people assume just because it's coming out of the mouth of a woman, it means that it's all women. Is she right? No, some women are pick-me-shas. Some women will say anything to please men, and they don't care if there's not even an ounce or a lick of truth in it, or even, I'm not saying it doesn't come with some truth, because there are some women like that. I'm just saying it's not for the overall. So do not make these things the overall, or make them exceptions to the rule, is what I'm saying, right? Do not make it the overall rule of thumb. What does it serve you to make it look like every woman does not want to be a wife? What does it serve you to make it seem like women do not want to be submissive? You got to start asking yourself that. What does it serve you to have such a negative outlook? Not every woman is like that. That's some women. Do not group some women with every woman. You get what I mean? Just like you don't want to group every single man with all men, if that makes sense. I digress. I'll go ahead and Say what you said.
That they chose because they didn't take the time to vet that person or really learn that person before they even committed to that person. And so to be a wife is different. To be a wife means you have staying power. To be a wife means you have vision. To be a wife means you're an orchestrator, right? And I think that that's the thing.
Is she a wife?
A lot of women, our superpower is having the ability, like when you go to the orchestra, or if you see the...
Because a lot of single women have single women idea of marriage. And I'm going to say that again. A lot of single women have single women ideas about marriage. Until you are married, you will not know at all what it is like to be married, right? We fantasize and we have ideas of marriage. And that's where the problem also lies, because when you fantasize about something without living in it, it's your own bias in which you will preconceive marriage or a relationship to be based on what you desire, but things does not work out in life the way you want it, right? Period. Your spouse is not going to be like the fantasy spouse that you imagine because you imagined that spouse, if that makes sense. So a lot of times when unmarried women speak about marriage, it's fantasy based. Can we leave marriage to be talked about we could ask questions and we could have ideas, but let somebody that's actually married second it. You get what I mean? I don't think that a lot of wives or women want to be married. I mean, want to be married, but don't necessarily want to be wives. I think that, again, like she was saying, I think they didn't count the cost. I think that they had misconceptions that they would not understand until they were married were not reality. Just like I got done saying, single women have a single mentality about marriage. And until you are actually living in that marriage, you do not know what it is. So I don't think it's that they didn't want to be wives. I think they didn't count the cost. They didn't even understand what being a wife looked like until they got into it. And then it became daunting to them. You know, it's kind of like when women have a baby for the first time and that woman develops, what happened? You know, postpartum. A lot of time postpartum comes from the inability to put somebody else before yourself. You have not or a chemical imbalance due to the fact that you might be malnourished. But a lot of time it comes from selfishness. People don't like to say that, but it's the truth. You have never put somebody else before you before, right? You never had something that took your undivided attention, where you had to submit all your time and energy. You could not fail. This is something where if you could fail, but not in certain ways, where you might have been careless with yourself, not ate that day, you get what I mean, or ate too much, or did this or did that, and you cannot do that with the baby, right? So it gives them postpartum because they never had anything take up that much mind and that much energy from them ever in their life, right? So that's where a lot of women who get into these marriage don't understand, again, where we have a single woman's mind of marriage. You didn't count the cost. You don't know what it fully entails to be a wife until you are a wife, period. And I want people to understand that. It's not that these women, some women may have to do what she's talking about, but some women did not count the cost. And so as some women did not count the cost, it becomes daunting to them. Like, oh, this is what being a wife is like. Even some husbands, and it might throw them for a loop, and they may not respond properly, or it might not be as great as they thought it would be. That's it. That's Kendra for a little food for thought. It's Kendra with Trust TV. Like, share, subscribe. Stay up, stay blessed. Put God first above all else. Peace out, guys. Bye.